want to find six-pack abs. And so he went on the internet and found a 10-minute ab circuit and started following it every day. After a week, he was pretty disappointed because he didn't make any progress, but he decided to keep pushing. After 2 weeks though, still nothing happened, so he stopped doing it. Meanwhile, I spent the last year bulking and building my abs and then cutting down, and this is the last day of my cut. And this is what I look like. So if you want to get a six-pack too, follow along to find out how to get it. First, there's a couple of myths that I would like to debunk regarding ab training. First is that abs are made with 10-minute ab circuits. This is total nonsense. You don't do it for any of your other muscle groups. I hope so at least. And so why would you do it for your abs? The second is that spot reduction works, that you can reduce only belly fat. It doesn't work. You have to reduce body fat on your entire body. You also cannot make a 4-pack become a 6-pack. How many packs you have is genetic, and people who have a 4-pack will not be able to get a 6-pack just through dieting and training because it's genetic. But don't let that discourage you, because Arnold also had a 4-pack and he achieved a bunch of shit, and now a lot of people idolize him, so 4-pack is enough. And then also they say that abs are made in the kitchen and not in the gym, which I think is also a myth. For 6-pack, there is 2 things that you can do: train your abs and lower your body fat. So let's talk a bit about ab training. Some people say that you don't need to train abs because they will grow through just you doing compound movements. Yeah, your core will get stronger through compound movements, but you need to isolate your abs. How should you do that? Train them like any other muscle group, at least twice a week, but for abs, higher frequency can be used as well. Close to failure, and I would argue that even to failure is a good practice for abs, since ab isolations are not very fatiguing. Apply progressive overload, so over time progress, add weight or add reps. The mistake that again a lot of people make is treating it like something else, like it's not a normal muscle. Don't use very exotic rep ranges. You don't need to go very high. 15 max is okay. You definitely don't need to go above 15 reps.
Okay, I get all of it, but ab training sucks, and I always just skip it.
Superset it with other stuff that you actually like earlier in the workout, so that way you will not skip it. You can superset abs with almost anything. You can superset it with bench press, and that way you do it first thing in your workout, and it definitely doesn't impair your bench press strength at all. Now, in terms of exercise selection, focus on the stretch and pick stretch-based exercises like decline sit-ups, for an example. And you can also do lying leg raises where your hamstrings are already in the air and the rest of your body is on the bench. And with this, you can also put weights between your ankles. Just don't drop them when your balls in the top portion. I'm not taking responsibility. Other good stuff you can do for abs is hanging leg raises and knee raises, and then also every roll-ups. You could also do cable crunches. Now, since you want to build muscle, you will also have to bulk, which means that you will have to be in a calorie surplus. It doesn't have to be huge, but it's a slow process. And so if you want 6-pack abs, I recommend that you for at least 6 months bulk and train your abs religiously. And probably a year would be even beneficial, and then after that you can do a cut so that you get a bit more definition. Now let's move on to body fat percentage. The stronger your abs are, the higher of a body fat percentage you can allow yourself while still having a 6-pack. This is very important because it shows us that in reality it's not necessarily cutting that will get us a 6-pack, but rather training. But still, body fat percentage of course matters. Pretty much nobody above 20% body fat as a male will have a 6-pack, except maybe for like giga strongmen, but you're not one. And going above 20% body fat is not healthy either, so hopefully you won't go above that. With that said, I think somewhere around 15% body fat, if you train your abs enough, you will be able to have visible abs. To lose weight and to body fat, all you need to do is be in a calorie deficit and eat 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I'm not gonna go into that in detail. I have videos on diet and weight loss on the channel already, so click here to watch the nutrition playlist. And so I'm telling you, instead of this, you should focus mostly on training, because the better the abdominal muscles, the better they will look when you're leaner. And there's already naturals who prove that you don't need to be at a very low body fat percentage in order to have abs that poke out other people's eyes. Like natural hypertrophy, for an example. The dude's like 17% body fat. I'm pretty sure he's like always above 15. But he's got abs that poke out your eye. And so this means that you can train them to be insanely big and you don't have to do just a def diet all the time. Going back to training, it's also important to note that ab training is isolation solely. You don't do compounds for ab training because there's not really compound movements for ab training. And so a fitness rule that is actually a myth that some people preach, which is that you should do 80% compound and 20% isolation exercises, doesn't apply here. And it doesn't really apply anywhere, and I explained that in a video, so click here to watch that.